Hello there. I think I should be live. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining me. This is a special market close live stream. Might not make it all the way to market close. 20 past 8 where I am UK time. Trade spotting land. This is the minis looking at that on the 15 seconds. Touching the 200. No divergence. Bouncing off the center line. It's a rejection from the 50 simple. A little bit dodgy towards close. What's SPY looking like? Everybody's favorite ticker. 15-minute time frame. Let me know if you want me to check in with any of your trades or anything you're looking at the minute. Happy to have a quick look at your tickers. 50 simple above the 200 price action. Flirting with the idea of breaking below that 200, losing the center line RSI. Not doing so fantastic. High of the day 412.82. Downward sloping resistance here. Fell off. Tested your moving averages and isn't managing to hold them yet on the 15 minutes. The 4-hour time frame, nothing significant has happened. It's 410. You want to be breaking that 50 simple period moving average. No closes below it. No confirmations. Center line still holding. So caught between two zones. Those two zones are easily identified on the open interest here. If we look to today's expiry, where you see the highest node 411 for puts, 413 for calls, and hence 411 and change, where we find ourselves at the low, and topside 412 and change. This candle just turned it negative. If you get a doji at support, that indecision will lead to further questions. If there's a strong reaction to the top side, that would be a good piece of information. Otherwise, we do not yet know. Getting quick messages here. Right, so price action, as you can see on that 1-hour time frame, 50 simple, 200 period moving average, that's defining your trades into close. Along with the open interest, you've got quite good hints as to the extreme sides of price action. A little bit in the middle now, so I wouldn't recommend necessarily jumping on this train, especially as it's approaching the end of the day. If you haven't already been looking at the charts and got your own estimation of things, then it will be difficult. If you have anything to look to, let me know. I see Bing Bong Hype. Hey, hello Doomslayers. Hey, Jamie looking a wee bit like Doctor Who from Banana Freeze, and Bing Bong, Jake D. Yo, good to see you, Jake. So Rocky was doing some coaching with you earlier. Pretty useful stuff from a coaching perspective. It seemed quite good. Obviously, I have no idea how it came across from your side of things, but it'd be good to hear that. Let me know for sure. Good to know I look like Doctor Who. I was better than looking like Death Warmed Up. So that's SPY. I'm not averse to looking across at VIX, which has pushed to the top side. They're 2.98%. The high of the day, 18.03. Moving above this 50 simple is interesting on the 1 minute time frame towards close with SPY pushing down. But that 200 could easily get another test. The 15-minute time frame, you can see that that's not yet managed to exceed its interesting areas. It's not managed to break structure topside or underneath. Anytime below the 50 simple, it recovered to 200. So volatility still poised to make a move, but not yet itself doing anything. XELA, Millionaire Maker series, you might be interested in this. Filled that gap, came back to the previous departure point and wicked higher. It was up 135% when I took profit on my, that was the underlying, when I took profit on the calls. That's 200%. It was high today, so I suppose it could have got better. So 4-hour time frame, this is the problem with XELA. It's this 50 simple, this downward sloping trend, the fact that that's a lower high. If it reacts after that to come back down again, that would be extremely negative price action overall. And this move then being capitalized on by a lot of people, 88% now, dropping towards close, but very strong move in advance of that rejection wick on the 4-hour 30-minute time frame. You're losing 200 period moving average back within this zone, a little bit dodgy. That's obviously inflation point at 4.97, $5, so it could easily lose 10% more from where it is at the minute, and wouldn't even make a squeak on the way down. Tesla caught below that 50 simple. Yo. What else has been making moves on the Millionaire Maker series? GREE 7.94%, outperforming many other miners at the minute. AML, not bad, though I wouldn't put too much stock in that just yet. VUZI's at that 200 period moving average. FAMI, half a cent again, loves this half a cent. If it manages to break up from here, that's very positive, but it's already had its big moves, you know. We've called a lot of these Millionaire Maker moves. Many of them have played out very, very well. Rolls Royce is managing to hold. You know, that is managing to hold. That reaction's good. What I see in the chat there, Tradespotting was just writing XELA and tip, looking at the 30-minute and thinking a retest of 200, maybe shortable down to the 30-minute. I wouldn't be dumping in on a short on XELA at the minute because of the, I mean, yo, Tradespotting. I wouldn't be jumping in on a shorter well there. I mean, I see it's already started to. If you're on the 30-minute time frame, that's where you're looking at a test down to the 200 period moving average. Down to the 30-minute 50 simple. I mean, yeah, sure, that all makes sense, but you'd have to be looking at this perhaps with the magic ruler. Say 236 comes in at around that 200 period moving average, and if you're looking at on the 30-minute time frame, then you need open, close, open, and it's already 8:30, so you've only got 45 minutes left, so you won't have 3 30-minute candles, so you won't be able to get confirmation of that trade setup because it would necessitate price action open, close, and open below the 200 period moving average. You don't have enough open closes left in order to do that, so you'd have to be taking something else. So like the whole trade conceptualization sort of falls apart, but I like the thought of it. It's also the important level of horizontal support on the previous candle close that's in around this area is back up at 6.26, and you could easily get that in the last hour of the day, move up there 50 cents. 10%, it's already done 200 today, right? And having called that would just be taking it back towards the 236. So it could do that towards close, and then that would all you'd get, you know. So you would have to wait and be patient, and if you add that into the confirmation, then you definitely not got enough time for that particular trade and setup. You might be looking at something like on the 1 minute to the 5 minute maximum. There's the 200 period moving average, and it bounced back up again to 650. You know, you've got bullish divergence here. Like it's closed, so you're looking for a little touch on the last leg of it, so maybe even on 15 seconds you've got it there. Break that 50 simple at $6, it's targeting 650. That might be a better trade, but even then, you know, because you can immediately manage your risk with the entry point using that 50 simple on that 15 second, which is currently at 6. And if you don't make it above there, it's a significant level too, so it's like a psychological level. It's got the horizontal previous resistance, it's got that 50 simple period moving average, and you're looking at the 15 second confirmation of the 1 minute, looking for a trade back up to another lower high towards close, because everybody's so screwed by this thing with this price action previously today. So maybe that'd be what you're looking for, but that's not the best trade on this today, and looking for that at close would be suggesting that this one stock's going to give you the best trade into close. It might do, that's a big move. Percentage wise, there's a big move you're talking, but is it worth the opportunity cost of it if it doesn't move fast once you've entered? Might be, you know, might be a whimper towards close because it's already done so much. So I'm not sure if it's the attractiveness of that trade right now, but that very much for the message. Guitar outside, hope you're well, my friend. Have a good start to the week. Tradespotting, Jamie, did facts arrive? I didn't see it, but I can look here for facts arrival. Thank you so much. Kitties, this thing should tell me thing. Wow, you're slow today, thing, huh? I got one from Guitar 5 minutes ago. Hi, XELA, potential trade setup in the chat, just got home and to the charts 10 minutes ago though. Whoa, you're working fast today, Guitar outside. That Guitar didn't have much time outside, did it? It was working. Could you take a look at Bitcoin/Any again? Thank you, says Kitty. You betcha. And then Merrick, 20 hours ago, is IEP's dividend really 25%? Cheers, Tradespot. You're talking IEP, that's ICANN investment partnership. Is that what you're talking about? Is it really 25%? That's a big question. I'm not sure if I actually have time to answer that, though. You did ask me 20 hours ago, so I probably have had time in that time, mind you. Though I'll get to that at a different date. Merrick, sorry, and I'll go straight to Any now. Yes, think you don't mean any versus Bitcoin. You're just looking any and Bitcoin. You're going to get much on the 15-second time frame. 1 hour, big moves down here into the bottom of the bullish bearish control zone. Typically, this would be where you get a bounce. It's also a golden pocket retracement where you might expect to go having lost the 236. You found resistance at it, having lost it, bounced off the 382, caught the 200 period moving average. So, you know, price action here for 1 hour time frame. You came up, you had this bearish divergence between these two peaks here, as you can see, higher high, and then you lost this 236. Subsequently, you came back down, having lost the 236, and you tested this 382. Bounced off it because you were also on the 200 period moving average, but you never managed to put any open closes above the 50 simple, and then price action fell off a cliff as the 50 simple went through that 200 period moving average, and like the target having broken the 236 may well be this golden pocket if you're looking for proper tests with regards to the strength of this move to the top side. So at this stage, Any's made a strong move back down again. It's lost important moving averages on the 1 hour. Go to 4 hour time frames, also lost them, having put in hesitation on approach. So I think it recognizes what it was doing as it went through it. Looking here at the golden pocket and support and resistance. Oh my god, the noise started again. Right, so I'm going to have to get a cancel out. That was really, that's going to be unusual because I've got other stuff to do right now. It's just so awkward with those guys. So awkward. Right, so, Jesus, that music is ridiculous. There's a 200 period moving average, 0.3768. So you're looking for a recovery up there. That's already a big percentage move to get up that distance. 12%. But with regards to your retracement from the peak, it's a significant percentage move. Back above the 236, which you've already, you know, got a level of an open close on a 4 hour time frame, which won't be likely that you go through it at pace unless, and of course you are going straight to and through the 200 period moving average back to this little gap. So potentially you go back there. Daily time frame, losing that 50 simple, it below the 200 already. You're looking at this and considering the structure, and you can see that there is a trend line that is potentially evolving somewhere around these areas. So if it catches that, that makes sense. Horizontally, you can see that other than the most recent test and the golden pocket, there isn't anything desperately stopping you. Alternatively, you know, if you don't hold it, it looks like it could test 2.6, and if that doesn't hold, it's 2.4. If that does happen, you'd be well and truly expecting that to be divergent on the RSI. You've also got a trend line in the RSI that has broken. So maybe you are looking for a horizontal retest, and that's where we might actually find it on a horizontal, like a diagonal on price action as well. That's just a coincidence though. So you're at the top of the bearish control zone there on the daily. You are really waiting for Bitcoin to make moves. Bitcoin itself falling out of this upward sloping weird ass formation. Did you get my first question about IEP's dividend? Just did there now, Merrick, but I'm going to have to look at it. I'm going to have to make a video on it slightly later. It's a bigger topic, that really, but and to actually investigate if it really is 25% because of the nature. Is there not some? He's having to, like, the SEC were looking for details and whatnot, and then that particular shorting hedge fund were focusing a lot of attention on them. So in order to give you a proper answer, I'd probably have to look at it properly. I could look at the IEP chart, but to give you a proper answer to that facts, it might take me slightly longer. But thanks very much for the facts. Cheers, Merrick. But I will do the video, but just not know if I'm able to answer it adequately here. With regard to Bitcoin, having lost that 50 simple on the daily, people will be wondering about the 200 period moving average in 22.5. If you're looking at this overall formation as a wedge, then you're crazy. I don't even know why I drew that. Probably take the mickey. Right, so there's this downward, upward sloping resistance on price action. And if you are to oscillate back to the top side, then you've got highs and you've got divergence. So if it does make a move, you know, in terms of the retracement back to the top side from that most recent peak, you've already got back above a 236. Most of it was wicks below. Aim for a 382. You've already wicked there once at 27,630, as we spoke about as the previous target. You managed to break it back above then. I'd look to the next horizontal at 28.4 and 50 simple period moving average. Oops. And then if it is moving back up this way, it won't necessarily break structure. So I don't expect any to necessarily recover completely to its previous highs if Bitcoin does start pushing back to its local oscillation within this trend, matching that downward sloping resistance. So what I would say to keep it simple is if Bitcoin pushes back up to a local oscillation, a new high, high approximate, right, okay, start again, Tradespotting. Keeping it simple here, explain it like I'm 5. A Bitcoin miner doesn't necessarily move the same extent or the same range or the same percent as Bitcoin, which of course drives the price of any. So if Bitcoin moves up, any might move up. If Bitcoin moves to its targets within this downward sloping trend in at around 27, 4, 28, 29, without breaking structure, any might not get back to its equivalent downward sloping horizontal. It might just get back to a medium area within the previous trend. So see Bitcoin hit 28.5. Maybe any goes to that 200 period moving average on the daily time frame. Maybe it makes it back to these prior lows, right? So you'd be aiming for 0.4 or 0.44, 10% difference. So that's what you'd be looking at if Bitcoin's pushing up. And even then, I'd be looking for the lower side of those targets, maybe even the 50 simple at 0.37. And if you're looking at the 4-hour time frame, you can see that the 200 period moving average comes in there as well. So clear area target, and then just get an early sign that's happening if you break back above 0.36, which doesn't seem like a lot of distance away, but percentage-wise it is. So 15-minute time frame, that's very messy. Definitely make better use of this. With that bullish divergence there, again, you're all relying on Bitcoin. You've got continuation divergence at the most recent peak, a rejection of the center line. Subsequently, you've come approximately back down to where you most recently found support. You don't have bullish or bearish engulfing candles on this time frame of any significance on this asset. And then on the 30-minute time frame, I do suppose you've got a touch of that bullish divergence, but you need to pull out of the bearish control zone here. So the RSI would need to make its way back up at testing 40, in which case then you could maybe see price action make a move back above that 0.36 and get those higher targets, but it'd have to rely on Bitcoin. So that's Bitcoin, any, and everything else. Thank you very much for those fixes. Guitar and XELA, kitties, and any Bitcoin is appreciated. And Merrick, who had asked about IEP's dividend, so let's just check what it's saying here, up 1.38% today on that 30-minute time frame. Brutal rejection there. The trend killed in the 50 simple on the daily time frame. We talked about this here, right? So Icon Enterprises has come to the target and went to the low that we spoke about when we did the TA on it in July and August, and when we talked about whether or not Icon Enterprises was buying GME, and we said that if they were, it wasn't going to do anything for their share price within this negative formation. They were going to fall out of it. Price action was going to come back down here, and you were aiming for 32 and or 30 on Icon Enterprises, and that was when people were really excited about it. They were into GME, that were talking about it back up at $50. So really, we like the trade was the one we talked about here. This moved down again. If you're looking for this in terms of value, that would be where a lot of people would be entering it, adding it to their portfolio and thinking about it long term. Maybe they would do, but Icon Enterprises, I remember from doing the deep dive into them, particularly at that time when we were looking at how they might have, with regards to their GME position, that they're not consistently profitable, and that though that he has some standout trades and he's a big personality and he has a good way of taking advantage of inefficiencies in the system, he isn't consistently profitable with regards to IEP, and it typically isn't a great investment, and it hasn't been for most people since forever. There's the weekly time frame. It's been pretty hard going for anybody since November 2013. So put it in context, really good value compared to back then. And if this thing is evolving into some sort of a downward sloping channel, and this could be what's happening with Icon Enterprises, that it's like a slow, painful downtrend because there's only so many of these shares available and traded at any given time compared to the overall float. So if we're looking at this thing from the overall, outstanding shares. So if you're looking at this as following that, it may well be that Icon Enterprises is at the low, that it now represents a good opportunity to buy it, but that trade wouldn't be a long-term position, it would be trying to take advantage of this formation here, aiming for a test of that 200 period moving average back up at 53, the basis of this downward sloping channel at 41, and then if you get past those, so maybe you get all the way to 60, but I would imagine that would be very, like the last chunk of that trade might take you so much longer waiting for it than all the rest of it, that your opportunity cost from not taking profit sooner would be very difficult to deal with. So you could look at this and say, if it drops out of that, I don't want it. You've got a risk reward ratio there that works at 10 to 1. If you get the signal to buy it, I wouldn't find it on the weekly. On 4-hour time frame, you've got what might be considered a reason to buy with the rejection from so deeply oversold, but you've recovered now out of the bearish control zone. Price action hasn't managed to do anything significant despite being back above a 236. So if it loses that, I'd be no interest at all. And then just mark this 236 out there so that everybody else can see on this time frame. Take it from the top of this breakdown move. So there's your 236. Hold that good. Lose it very, very bad at 32. Move to the top side. You don't get anywhere until you've broken 36, closed the gap at 38, gone back above 50% retracement. Even then, golden pocket, it doesn't break structure, because you've had a test of that in the mid breakdown. So you'd need to see this thing back above 44 to be interesting, where you also already find a 200 period moving average meeting price action. So even if you had a really strong off the bat massive boost up tomorrow morning, things only going to go to 44, and even then, right, it's already putting in massive continuation divergence there on RSI, and likely comes back down and fills the gap below it at 31. And if it does drop lower, right, then because like that channel doesn't hold. This thing's coming back to horizontal level support at 18, and then 9, and then ultimately, and what looks like is happening at the minute until such times as I find out any difference. If this thing loses 29, 30 bucks, it could end up back at 7. So that's what I'm thinking on IEP. Right, so market has got 20 minutes left for you guys to enjoy it without me. NVDA, sorry, Ganji, kind of got the time. We've got to do other things, but it's really appreciated you're here today. Thank you. We have looked at NVIDIA not so long ago. Put the NVIDIA chart up quickly. I'm getting any, I'm not spelling it right. This isn't helping my time on the chart. There it is. Ooh, saving time, making time, buddy. So what is it today? Go away, Microsoft, stupid thing. I don't care about your news. It's at, oh god, now it's everywhere. Oh, 293, right? So come in, 15-minute time frame. Pushing the top side there. Hold the center line. Probably giving people multiple opportunities to buy this. Push the top end, keep going. Got your targets there. Did well. Held that 236. That's positive. Yeah, so I mean it keeps going, and the trend looks okay at the minute. In the close, 4-hour time frame, you exceed this high here already at 295. Push back up again, then next target probably 350. 350, 300, 350. 300 is obviously a round number, and you've probably got something in there. Aye, and then you've got the 86 retracement. So, you know, you managed to make it above 305, you'll hit 350. At the minute, you'd be following that with a stop loss, because easily have a major correction, come back down, testing it around 250. So that, be careful of that. You get an early sign when it broke the 50 simple, it's at 281. That's already a significant distance away. So if you're not already in it, it's a little bit tough to take that trade. If you're looking on the 5-minute time frame, test those moving averages, maybe does it for you, but I wouldn't recommend doing it without a little bit more look. Thank you so much. And I see something came up somewhere in the world there. I heard of something. I heard a thing. Did I see it? No, I missed it. I don't see it there. Sugar. And do I see it here? Bullish on GME. Thanks, bud. Thanks, Joe Guitar. Thank you, Guitar, very much. Appreciate. Right up where the best of them. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Made the day a whole lot better for me with that very positive experience there. Cheers. Doesn't seem like much, maybe others, but it does make a difference. Thank you very much, Guitar Outside. And everybody who supports the stream. There's a show coming up at 9:15 about Saudi Arabia, the sovereign wealth fund, Bloom Energy, and potential huge opportunities for people, again, who like dividends, who like following massive accounts, who like putting money into things which has also got other sovereign wealth funds investing tens of millions of dollars in it. You'll like Bloom Energy, BE, the ticker, when it's at a low. It's had a huge drop down, up 0.27% today, but look at that for a craterous drop. Massive gap to aim for. Obviously, these guys go through money like it's jam. They don't particularly care. They like going through money like it's jam. But there's a formation on the chart there, and it probably does go back up to the top side of it. So if you want to know more about why, and more about Saudi Arabia's investment fund, and some of the massive moves they've been making recently, the history of it, how it moved from passive fund to one of the biggest investment players in the industry, then you want to be looking at my video that comes out in about 20 minutes after market close at 9:15. It's spot on market close when it comes out. And you may indeed be looking at this sort of thing. If it drops further, 1042, that'd be a 50% retracement. Also in line with this, if it isn't a channel and it is a wedge, you could see easily come down 50% retracement there, couldn't you? Eh? Suits you, sir. If not, a little bit of something already on the go. If we're in here down at the 1 minute time frame. Wow, look at that crazy 1 minute, amazing. So yeah, this thing looks like it's either going to do something back, a recovery, starting towards 14, or is that move back down at 12 and then 10 on the card? You'll have to watch my video later to find out, because there's so much interesting information in it, like usual, and lots of enjoyable stuff to watch as it goes on in the background. At least it better be, because it took me 8 hours or something. Boom, there it is. Tradespotting. Thanks for the update. Much appreciated. Thanks very much for being here, Hans. Thanks very much. Every single second of watch time helps get the word out there, and more people perhaps find the channel. So just hitting the like button and leaving a comment afterwards. If you have to comment afterwards about something you wanted to see maybe the next day, then I'd be able to have a little heads up if people wanted to look at that, maybe get it on the show for you. And obviously it's great to hear people's feedback on the things I have been looking at, or if anybody's in any of these tickers, because a lot of people maybe are or get into them at some point, and I don't know, so you have to let me know. So definitely do that in the comments, which I read all of. You know, I don't heart every single one of them all the time, because I want some of them to get distinction from the heart for those who come later. But typically I'll go back and look and see, right, you know, that was a good message too, and heart on it and think about it. And so I'll always see everything. I always read every comment. Most of them I respond to some way or another. So thanks very much. Good luck into close, everybody. Thank you, moderators, and Lisa, who's the best chapter maker going in the history of the world. Right, watch that video and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.